Mama, huyu akona mbio sana. Wewe mnajaribu mnamkimbiza aje bwana instead ya watu kunya watu. Niko na mwescort. Huyu anaenda akienda hapo anazikwenda. Wengine hapo anamwescort. Mnaweza na mtu mwenye akona mbio hivyo. That game ingeenda over 2-5 first half.
Only he knows what he was planning on doing. Maybe. Into the last few seconds of the 45. It's been picked up there by Conan. He can't thread the ball back.
Come on now, Gopa.
It's been picked up on the left-hand side this time with Fatu. And as we wait to see how many minutes of added time, Marmoush, Fatih, playing for Wakra in Qatar. 120 seconds until the referee gives these players a breather, which is exactly what they probably need. That has been high-octane football, very intense. You don't expect to go 2-0 down, in the space of 30-odd minutes in a quarter-final of the Africa Cup of Nations. Côte d'Ivoire, they did. But now they're back in it, and they're looking a lot better. And they got a lot of possession as well, which will just boost their enthusiasm and confidence going into the second half. They don't want to concede another goal now, do they?
No, not at all. This would be a very crucial time to really concede, but
Nishangaa. Asha sound I'm like.
I think they've really given themselves a lifeline.
Well, I think a team that know how to come back from behind.
Africa
Cup of Nations, of course, on home soil.
Also
against Gabon in the group stage.
You kushaona tena hapo nyuma washanganyanga tena. Kama leo kula.
Different possibilities and capacities, and I think that it's a great show of strength and character when you can actually come from behind and win games. Especially on the big stage like this one here in Africa for this Africa Cup of Nations.
Interesting ball.
Yeah, very interesting first half. I think game plan well executed from the Egyptians, really forcing the Ivorians.
Hivyo twende. Twende. Hata Ahmad ni kama ameshika hapo. Eka kitu. Shit! Unangoja nini? Nai. Ahmad.
Once again, he's playing with so much wisdom.
Ahmad.
No one seen his beautiful play. There's the lofted ball and a chance for Gaston. Head the ball down to a teammate because there's no one around it. And that is the half-time whistle. An enthralling, fascinating, multi-faceted confrontation here in Agadir. It was all about Marmoush getting the ball rolling. Rabia added a second, but then all of a sudden we saw an own goal that was scored from Fatu. It's 2-1. Egypt lead Côte d'Ivoire at half-time. Well, Amanda, that was just...
Rooted in culture, driven by connection. These stories flow between continents, leading a new generation of talent and opportunity. Africa and Europe, together we rise. This is AFCON, my friend. Everything is a competition. Everything. The rivalry gone deep, my brother. When you hear the noise before you see them, families are right.
AFCON 2025, live on Supersport, only on DSTV. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by 1xBet. From home to AFCON with official partner, 1xBet.
Spilling tea, sipping tea, reality. Pocket-sized drama streaming where you are. Cringy, bingy, so juicy.
And
Made for you, queen. Made for now. Showmax.
To Betika is to be a Kenyan that is loved in Tanzania.
Welcome to Betika, the home of champions.
Welcome to the Valley for this Emirates FA Cup third round clash. A captivating all-London derby as Charlton Athletic host the formidable 8-time winners Chelsea, who have new boss Liam Senior at the helm for this tricky cup assignment. The Addicts, promoted to the Championship last season, lifted the FA Cup in 1947. Their most notable recent run came in 2014 when they reached the quarter-finals before being knocked out by Sheffield United. Chelsea, meanwhile, are one of the FA Cup's most decorated clubs with 8 titles to their name. Their first triumph came in 1970 after a dramatic replay win over Leeds United. Further successes followed in 1997 and 2000. And they enjoyed a dominant period in the late 2000s and early 2010s, including back-to-back victories in 2009 and 2010. Their most recent win came in 2018 when they edged out Manchester United at Wembley. A new boss at the helm, but a consistent ambition to be at the forefront of winning the major prizes.
Arena, it's finished. Real Sociedad 1, Atletico Madrid 1.
Ready to vibe to the hottest beats from you.
Last season, and it'll be a bumper crowd here at the Valley to see if Charlton can pull off an FA Cup third round shot. A big night for these players who've been struggling in the league, but tonight can put that to one side and focus on the glamour and glory of the Emirates FA Cup third round. Let's talk players. Nigel Spackman's alongside me, who's caught your eye ahead of kickoff.
Yeah, well, this lad, Lloyd Jones, who everybody talks about down at the Valley, there, John Terry, made 100 appearances here now. He's the leader at the back. Came through the ranks in Liverpool, went off to the likes of Cambridge, but really has found a home here at the Valley.
Let's move on to attackers, shall we, Nigel? Tyrese Campbell.
Yeah, as you can see there, 150th appearance today for him. That's brilliant against Chelsea, isn't it? These are what dreams are made of. But he's only scored 1 goal in 25 appearances. That was an important goal at Birmingham. But at 22 years of age, he's just got to keep improving, and hopefully score more goals and maybe get picked up by somebody bigger.
And up front, centre forward.
Yeah, Charlie Kilman, who has been injured recently, but he's come back and looked really fit and sharp. And as it says there, 4 goals in the last 6 games for him. So he leads the line. He's the goal scorer. That's who they need to feed tonight.
Yeah, a couple of goals at Blackburn last weekend. Really bumped that tally up. Let's have a look at Charlton Athletic, 19th in the second tier at the moment. Earlier on in the campaign, they were looking like a possible playoff contender, but at the moment it's about survival. As we saw, winners in 1947, knocked out in the third round last season, and as I mentioned, their form isn't great. Just 1 win in the last 11. That was against fellow strugglers Oxford United. So another new start at Chelsea. There is their new head coach, appointed this week Liam Rosenior, who's arrived from Strasbourg in France, and this is his first game. It comes in southeast London at the Valley in the FA Cup, and he'll be desperate to get off to a winning start ahead of a League Cup semi-final first leg against Arsenal on Wednesday, and his first Premier League game against Brentford at Stamford Bridge next weekend.
Shopping at 9K.
Nigel, starting with Moises Caicedo.
Well, what can you say about this
Yaani
choice?
mama anakaa 1996 ama anakaa 2025.
I think he got caught up in
Hizo akili yake inaonyesha ni kama hizo vitu zote like ni kama ajui zinatokanga pesa ngapi. Ni kama naona hizo vitu hazifai kutoka hiyo pesa. Kiatu peke yake mbili zimeenda. Ni kama naona kitu ni 100. Hii ananikasirisha.
Against Cardiff in the cup, but he wants a good run and impress the manager tonight.
And up front,
Yeah, Marky, the Spanish boy doesn't get many starts, but I think obviously a new manager comes in, wants to look at players in the squad, and this guy might fit into it. But he's just got the one goal in 9 appearances. That was against Ajax in the Champions League.
well, this is the story for Chelsea, currently 8th in the Premier League. They want to be higher, of course, challenging for the Champions League places. That's Liam Rosenior's first mission. 8-time winners of this competition. Got knocked out in the 4th round last year. And their form isn't great, which is why there's been a change of head coach. 2 wins in the last 11. So one of the standout ties in this season's 3rd round. Chelsea will certainly be expected to progress. A chilly night in southeast London, and the Addicts certainly won't make this easy for Chelsea. They may not have the quality in the squad, but anyone who's seen Charlton this season knows there's no lack of spirit or energy about this team. And of course they've had a week to prepare, whereas Chelsea have had just a couple of days under Liam Rosenior. There's no doubt it's been a tough period for Charlton. Just that one
Kama hizo vitu za junior secondary school nakumbuka tulitumia 15k peke yake na endi boarding school. Kununua hizo vitu zote.
In the championship at the
Please
end
don't
of October,
come
the fans who were dreaming of the playoffs. Right now, their ambitions are rather more modest. Remaining in the division after winning the League One playoffs last year would be a decent outcome for the Addicts. But what a scene that is. It is Charlton's biggest attendance in the FA Cup for 50 years. That's how much this tie has caught the imagination of this part of southeast London. And of course, Chelsea have a new manager. What do you make of that appointment, Nigel?
Well, I think it's a brave appointment. I think Liam was very fortunate to be offered this job and taking this job. I just hope he does well as a young English or British coach. I just hope that it goes well for him here. I know his dad very well, and he's very proud of his son. I think his son could go on and be a top manager. But the pressure of being Chelsea manager, as we all know, is very tough. But I think the fans have got to give him time. But I think he'll bring a style of football which they'll appreciate in the end.
Let's start with the teams for you, shall we? Nathan Jones makes 4 changes to the side that led a 2-goal lead slip to draw 2-2 at Blackburn 6 days ago. There's just a second appearance this season in goal for Will Mannion, who last played in the first round of the League Cup in August. 19-year-old Keenan Goff makes just his second start for the club in place of Reece Burke. While there's rotation in central midfield, Sonny Carey and captain Greg Doherty replace Luke Berry and Joe Rankin-Costello. Carey's top scorer this season with 5. Charlie Kelman scored both goals last weekend to take his tally to 4. This is Liam Rosenior's first lineup as Chelsea head coach. He's without Mark Cucurella, who serves a 1-match ban after his red card against Fulham. 8 changes from that West London derby defeat. Philip Jorgensen starts in goal. Tosin keeps his place in defence, but the other 3 are all rotating. The 2 in midfield are unchanged. But in attack, Whiteman, Garnacho and Gittins start after being the unused sub for the last 2. While on loan Facundo Buonanotte makes just his 7th Chelsea start, behind 20-year-old Spaniard Mark Guiu, just his 4th start of the season. These two clubs have met 70 times before. 22 wins for the Alex, 31 for the Blues. They've met twice before in the FA Cup. Chelsea winning 3-0 on both occasions, the last time being in 1995. That's the history lesson. This is 2026. And another new start for Chelsea under a young and dynamic head coach who was at Strasbourg for just 63 games. There is Charlie Kelman, who we talked about a moment or two ago. He's really hit form after missing 7 games through injury. He'll be up front alongside Miles Lieber. And for Alejandro Garnacho, another chance from the start. Chelsea career yet to properly take off after his move from Manchester United, but there's no doubting the talent there. And there is Nathan Jones, who we know is an animated character. I was here back in May for the League One playoff semi-final. What an occasion that was, and they're hoping to top it here tonight. First time he sits in the dugout for Chelsea, Liam Rossignol, hoping to get off to a winning start. He went just under half his games at Strasbourg, led his side to the top of the UEFA Conference League table with 5 wins and a draw, including a memorable win over the FA Cup winners Crystal Palace. Now he's walking into an elite club with huge resources, and with that comes massive expectations and pressure. Can they get off to a winning start under the lights here at a packed Valley? When this place is rocking, it is a wonderful venue for football. It will be Chelsea, the 8-time winners, to get the ball rolling. Life begins under their new head coach here in South East London. The last time these two clubs met in 2007, Liam Rossignol was just 22 years old and playing for Chelsea's West London neighbours Fulham. Now in the Blues dugout for the first time.
Mungu umepangaje na mama? Alikuwa amesema unafaa uende Lyon. Mhm.